So a little while back, as part of the AFL What If series, I made a video about merging Richmond and Collingwood and seeing what the jumpers would look like of those two teams put together. Now, a lot of you guys seemed to like that and wanted to see other rival teams merge together. So today we're going to see what happens when we merge Carlton and Collingwood, Fremantle and West Coast, and Geelong and Hawthorn. Now, one thing I wanted to try and do this time around was make it a bit more challenging. So instead of just taking the design of one team, mix it with the colours of the other, I wanted to try and take elements from both teams, put it together and try and come up with something that is really unique and completely different to what they currently wear. Starting off with Carlton and Collingwood, and for this team I've gone with the name of the Collingwood Blues because Collingwood is one of, if not the biggest sporting club in Australia, so we'll take that Collingwood name. For their team colours, I decided to ditch the white and the black, which Collingwood supporters might be a bit mad about, but we've gone with the idea of the blues. So we've got navy blue as their main colour, with their secondary colour being a light blue, similar to what Sturt have in the SANFL. So for their home jumper, we've got a navy blue jumper and shorts with light blue stripes and that CFC monogram, which we've kept in the center of the jumper. Honestly, I think this jumper is pretty cool. I like that two-tone of blue color design. It worked so well for Sturt and it looks really good here as well. I think the monogram and the stripes look great together, and having pinstripes on the jumper I think looks pretty good. I think Collingwood do that on their away or clash jumpers maybe. To be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of when they did it or when North Melbourne did it on their jumpers either, but I think in this case it works really well. For the away or clash jumper, we've gone for a simple inverse, just a light blue jumper with navy blue stripes. I think these jumpers work really well together. Do you need a third kind of clash jumper, maybe a white one? Perhaps you could kind of do that, but ideally you'd just keep the two tones of blue rather than adding in white, which isn't really part of this team's colours. So on to Fremantle and West Coast, and as a Freo supporter this is pretty painful to do, but we'll do it anyway. For their team name, we've gone for the Fremantle Eagles because the name West Coast is kind of a bit vague and a bit cover-all, whereas Fremantle is a specific location and definitely one with a strong football history and tradition, so we'll keep the name Fremantle and create the Fremantle Eagles. For their colours, we've taken purple from the Dockers and gold from West Coast. It's a colour combination that many teams use. You know, you've got the LA Lakers, the Minnesota Vikings in America, Sydney Kings use it here in the NBL in Australia. It's a great colour combination that works really well. For their jumper, again, I've gone for something a little bit different. We've taken one of the old West Coast logos from a jumper they wore in the preseason, I think in the 90s or 2000s or something like that. But we've taken the eagle head icon from that jumper, in part just because it's one that West Coast didn't use too much, and so it's still got a kind of novelty to it. For the home jumper, we've gone for a mostly purple design with that new eagle logo in the center or to the side of the jumper. For the Clash version, we had a bit of a challenge because this eagle head logo really, in this case anyway, didn't look very good unless it was a dark logo on a light background. So when we tried to do a simple inverse, it didn't work because the eagle's head gold on purple didn't look so great. So as a workaround of that, the jumper on the front is pretty much the exact same. We've just made gold collars and cuffs, and then the back of the Guernsey is all gold. Funnily enough, even though the front of the jumper is identical for the home and away jumpers, more or less, still works as a Clash Guernsey. Now onto Geelong and Hawthorn, and for their combined name, we've gone for the Geelong Hawks, mainly because we want to keep a team in Geelong, I think. You know, we've got so many Melbourne teams that are based in that kind of Melbourne area, so keep a team in Geelong and go for the Geelong Hawks. For their team colours, we've taken the white and the navy blue from the Cats and the gold from the Hawks, and similar to what I did for the Fremantle Eagles, we've gone for a slightly more out there design. We've taken the hawk from the old Hawthorn logo, put it across the jumper in a kind of a sash fashion, I guess you'd call it, similar to that West Coast home jumper that they wore for a number of seasons throughout the kind of mid-2000s. So we've got that white hawk across the jumper. The rest of the jumper is mostly navy blue with a gold part at the top of the Guernsey. Again, one that I think looks nice, a good colour combination, maybe a little too similar to that old West Coast jumper, but I think it still looks unique enough and is completely different. Especially for these two teams, when you've got Geelong's in the hoop jumper and Hawthorn in the stripes, it kind of makes it a bit hard to, you can't really combine those designs. You don't want to favour one side or the other, so ditch the stripes and the hoops and go for something a little bit more different and out there. I think works well here. For the Clash jumper, we've just gone for a mostly white jumper with a navy blue hawk, and the gold is still in the same part of the jumper, so just a switch of the navy blue and the white. So that is about it for this video, guys. Remember to let me know in the comments down below what you think of these designs, as well as any other rival teams you'd like to see me try and merge. Remember to like and subscribe and do all that good stuff. But until next time, guys, we will see you later.